It's another episode of Team Yes.
All right. Well, I didn't want to. Hello, I'm Josh Pomerlow. This is Brian McWhite. We are shooting another Teaming Up show episode today because we feel teams are the future of the industry, and we're doing this to bring you with us.
Right, exactly. We want to provide some helpful tools and resources to you as you build your team. And what we want to talk about today is kind of a tricky question, maybe for those of you who are a little bit further down the road in hiring a team and a staff. And that's, what do you do when you don't have a new hire, but you're 1 or 2 years down the road with a hire and it's not working out? What do you do to get that back on track or figure out how to move on?
And that's extremely tough because we get that question a lot because people come to us and say, you guys have figured out the hiring process. And I just laugh because it's like, if you saw all the practice and prep we did, you wouldn't think we were that special.
Well, and all the failures that we've had to learn from.
Exactly. And that, of course, that's how most people learn. There's always a step of that of just moving forward and then failing and then learning and then getting better. It's if you fail, do you get better, right? Mm-hmm. And we've gotten better and better and better. But it's a tough position. We've been in it. One of our first hires, we actually went down that road with, and we still, when we ended it, we still didn't do it right. And that's how when we're shooting this video, we can bring, we're in the trench. Yeah. If I like to say, we've been in the trench, we're in the trench, we're out of the trench, we're in the trench, and we go back and forth, so we can bring a lot to this. But the first thing I would say is, okay, I have an employee, they've been with the organization 1 to 2 years, whatever, and things are just not clicking. Things are just not working right. They don't understand. It's just not working. Okay, let's just go there. What can I do to get it back on track? And that's where I would first say, I would slow down, and I would set a meeting with them, mm-hmm. and I would listen to them first on all the things that are going wrong, good. Right? Because I really feel that they're gonna be frustrated too. Mm-hmm. They're gonna be frustrated with just the lack of direction that they probably have had, the lack of the tools that they probably didn't have, all that. And so listen to that.
And you have to be a pretty humble employer to be able to do that. You have to be able to invite them to speak freely about what's frustrating and what's not working, so that you really get their take on it.
Yeah, because you're gonna run into a lot of things that you did wrong.
Exactly.
And probably even more than that they've done wrong.
And we'll talk about that. That's
right,
for sure.
Right. So I'm listening to them, and then I'm gonna write down, okay, I'm going to get one piece of paper and I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to say, what are the tasks that you need to be doing on a daily basis to make us succeed? And say you're just at one employee. So you're the rainmaker, you're the listing agent, you're the buyer's agent, and you have one admin. So let's just break this down to easy. You're going to take your job tasks over here, and you're going to take their job tasks over here, and you're going to try to get on one sheet of paper. The reason why I say one sheet is because it will make it so much easier when you guys are seeing if the person is succeeding in that role or not by having one sheet of paper and going through. And it also makes you keep it simple, mm-hmm. because if you just add a bunch of things and you have a hard time quantifying and actually see what's going on, you're not going to be able to know. It's just going to make it too difficult.
Right.
So,
and what Josh is getting at a little bit here is that it's, especially with a person who's been with the team a year or two, it's going to be really important for you to ratchet up the accountability and responsibility on yourself.
Right.
Because no matter what, we play a role and we have some responsibility for team members that don't work out.
Right.
Maybe the problem was that you didn't make expectations very clear up front. And that could be a major reason why they're struggling and why it's not working out for them. And so we need to take responsibility for that and step back and say, here are the responsibilities, here are the expectations. And I hate to say it, but the side benefit of that is if this continues to not work out, at least for the next hire, now you've got nailed down exactly what you need out of this role and exactly what the expectations are.
Yeah, I think that that's a huge part, is that if it doesn't work, if it ends up not working out, you're going to have a list of, you're going to have your detailed one sheet of paper, what they need to be doing, how someone's going to succeed with you, because you've already been through it.
Exactly.
And you're going to be ready for when the next person comes in to not mess up that experience as well.
I want to include one caveat though, and that's that even if you are responsible for not having been clear and not having been set out good expectations for what is expected of this position, don't get into the trap of feeling so guilty for having done that and for this person not working out that you just say, okay, it's fine that they're not good. It's because it's my fault, and so we're just going to leave them in that position. If they're the wrong person, they're the wrong person, and you still have to make the cut.
Yep.
You still have to make that. It's really hard, especially when they've been there for a while.
Right, and you're going to second guess yourself a little bit. Maybe I didn't do everything I could to make that person succeed, and
that's
now we can't fix it. Yep. So you're gonna beat yourself up. But again, I think if you really listen to that person and you really come together and you get that piece of paper out and you put down the expectations and it's written down and it's agreed upon in writing that this is how you're going to succeed in this position, and then it doesn't happen, there's not going to, and you do your job where you show up every single day.
Right.
You're helping that person. You're giving that person the tools. You're there. You're answering questions. You're paying for that person to go to the class that they need to go to learn that position, and you're doing all that, and then it doesn't work out. It's just what Bryan said.
That's exactly it. You're not coming up with a list of expectations so that now you have clear rationale to fire them in a month. Right. That's not the point.
Right.
The point is that you want them to succeed, and you want to give them the things that they need to succeed. We want to go into this with the right heart.
Right.
We want this to work out really well.
For sure. It's way easier if it worked out.
Yeah.
They're going to know you. They've been working with you for a long time, and they're going to know the processes. They're going to know what works, and then you're going to know that person too. Where if you hire another person, it's just like what we said in our last episode, you're not going to bat 1,000.
Right.
So even if you spend another 6 months and you find that another person, that doesn't mean that person's going to work out. Even if you have everything right and they agreed upon it and you've got a good platform for them to succeed, that doesn't mean they're going to work out.
Right.
So I mean, it's going to start with, in a situation like this, it's going to start with the leadership on top. It's going to start saying, what did I do wrong? Because you did something wrong in that process, for sure. We still do every day. But you're going to slow down, you're going to listen, and then you're going to become accountable, and then that's going to help that situation move forward one way, and it's going to be either way it's going to be a positive because you're going to go the right direction.
It's going to be positive in the life and the work of this employee, or it's going to be positive in the next one.
Yep,
exactly. Well, that's it for this episode of Teaming Up. Thanks for joining us. We are excited about these because we believe that real estate teams are the future of the real estate industry, and we want to provide some good tools and resources for you and invite you to come along with us.
Yep, thanks for coming.